Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Teresa. This is Lost My Thread. It is my 3-year anniversary of starting this YouTube channel, and I thought it would be a good opportunity to look back, reflect, and talk about what I've learned in the process. Now, I did make videos like this for my first and second YouTube anniversary, and in those videos I was getting into quite a lot of detail about like the program I was using, my camera setup, my lighting. If you're interested in getting into those really specific details, I will put links down in the description box and up here if you want to check them out. But I feel like I more now just want to focus on just broadly how I feel like things have changed for me. So I'm going to start off talking about how my sewing has changed, how I feel like I may have changed in the last few years, but then I will talk about how my YouTube process has changed, and I will give some tips for anybody who is new to YouTube or thinking of starting a YouTube channel at the end. The most obvious way that my sewing has changed to me from now compared to 3 years ago is just the amount that my sewing output has increased. I'm definitely doing a lot more sewing than I was when I started this channel, and it's not, I would say, like because of the channel directly. I think it's more just indirectly and the knock-on effect of making my channel. So I was previously thinking about sewing when I was sewing, and a little bit of planning before I would make a project. I would take photos, post them on Instagram. But in addition to that, now I'm spending a lot of time each week talking about sewing. I'm also spending time watching myself talk about sewing, editing the videos, I'm planning the videos, doing research for the videos. So there's just a lot more of my headspace taken up by sewing. That's not to say that I'm not also watching YouTube videos and listening to podcasts about sewing. And so I just feel like so much of my free time has just been taken up by sewing, and it kind of spirals, you know. The more I'm thinking about it, the more I want to think about it, and the more inspired I get to do things and make things. And the more I make, the more I get excited about something else that I could be making. And so I feel like all of this just means that I want to sew all the things, and I'm sewing more than I was before. I'm not complaining, I'm loving it and enjoying the process, but it's just interesting to notice the difference. I don't think my style has changed that massively in this period. I'm definitely someone who's just open to trying out different styles and finding things that I like and figuring out what I don't like. I think the obvious ones to me is that I have definitely been gravitating more towards solids. So solid colored things, often with texture. Like this has a really nice rib texture, so I will make completely just solid plain things, but I really do like a solid with texture. And I've been appreciating the value of that in my wardrobe, that I can mix and match with other solids as well as mix and match with prints. So I feel like that's been just a little bit different in my wardrobe. But also the bigger change for me is just that I've been going much more towards higher waisted things than I did before. Now, I was around the first time, well, probably not the first time around, but in the 90s when every trouser went really low rise. And honestly, I was low rise before low rise was a thing. And that's just because I have quite a high natural waist, and I often felt that if things were sitting up there, they just felt a little bit uncomfortable and clingy and tight in a place that didn't feel good. And especially when I sat down, things seemed to kind of dig and cut in. And so my preference was to just wear things bigger. I would just wear bigger trousers and bigger skirts that sat significantly lower down, which was just a lot more comfortable for me. But actually, I've been trying some more higher waisted things, and I actually feel like if it's high enough that it's on my natural waist, which is high on my body, when I do sit down, things actually don't dig in as much, because that's not the part of my body that expands as much when I sit down. But if things are more mid-rise, I find that probably the least comfortable and the most like cutting in and uncomfortable places. But also when I have lower rise things, there's always that concern that my back is going to be exposed if I, lean forward, and my top isn't going to quite cover things in the same way. So I've been definitely gravitating towards higher waisted things for comfort. And also as a result, I feel like cropped tops suit a higher waisted style a bit more. So I've been trying to incorporate those things gradually a bit more into my wardrobe. I feel like I've also been really embracing the slow sewing elements. I wouldn't say that I'm slow sewing all the time by any means, but whenever I do have something where I have an opportunity for a bit of slow sewing, I will often take it. I've been really enjoying hand sewing hems. I feel like that was a big sticking point for me with my hems for a while. I used to find them to be such a just annoying part of the process. Sewing that hem, when you finish everything else, you just want to get it done, and I would rush through it. My hems often weren't that neat. I actually learned to sew. The first thing I ever sewed, I want to say, was hand sewing my uniform hem. My mom showed me how to do it, and I did it by hand, and that was, as far as I was concerned, how you sew a hem for probably a good few years. And then at some point I realized, well, if your stitching match is enough, you can just stitch it on the machine. And I felt like my world opened up, and I could just, sew my hem so much easier. And then when I realized at some point that that was just becoming a real block for me, and it was stopping me from finishing projects or slowing me down, I went back to the hand sewing my hems, and actually I enjoy it. I actually prefer to do that. Not on everything, and I don't feel like it always makes the most sense, but it's just good to have in my back pocket, and it's a good one to go to. But generally speaking, any kind of hand sewing I do really enjoy. I've been enjoying my French seams a lot recently. I've been appreciating having a little bit more attention to detail on like the finish, the insides of my garments. I've also just been really embracing those projects that are a bit more meaty and involved. None of this is to do with my YouTube per se. It's just more, I think, to do with the longer I'm sewing for, the less I feel like a big rush to get all the clothes sewn up. And so I am enjoying the things that are going to take a little bit more time, maybe a little bit more attention, and I can get more out of the process. When I look back at my ideas and my planning for the channel right back at the beginning, I will say I definitely wanted to do everything. I wanted to be everything. I wanted to do my plans and my makes videos. I wanted to do sew-alongs and tutorials. I think just over time, as you're making a channel, you're going to eventually start to find your niche and find out what you do well, what you enjoy, what people seem to appreciate when you do it. I mean, I will say for me, the bottom line has always been, I always want to make videos that I would like to see. I'm never going to make a video because I think it'll be popular. There are a lot of videos that I could be making that I know you guys would love, but I just don't feel in my heart that I care about those videos. So I'm going to be making the kinds of things that I think I want to see on YouTube. And as far as the types of videos that I'm making, I don't think I make the best sew-alongs. My tutorials are okay, and there are probably some more things that I could do, but I feel like what I do best and what I enjoy the best and what I get the best feedback from is just really getting stuck into a lot of detail about things that I'm sewing, things that I'm enjoying, what I'm liking, not liking about the process, what I like and don't like about a particular pattern or a garment. And so I feel like I've been able to embrace that a little bit more and be quite candid and open about my experience, and know that that is something that is valued from you guys as well. So that just encourages me more in that direction. It's also been really nice to have a bit more of a just overall plan for my channel and regular videos that I know are going to come back again and again. It helps me with the planning, and it means that I just don't need to think quite as much about those types of videos. So like I'll always do seasonal plans videos, which I do really enjoy, and monthly makes videos. I've also started doing my most worn me mades of the previous season that I can do. And so I know that these are things that will just come into my schedule, and I don't have to think too hard about what I want to do for those videos. I have a bit of a plan there. I've also have my Clash of the Pattern series, which I recently relaunched. It's been a longer time than I realized since my previous one, where I put different patterns up against each other to see which one I think is the best. Again, one of those where I get really into the details, into the weeds for you guys. I also have regular videos at the beginning of the year where I talk about my sewing plans and I reflect on the previous year, talking about what were my favorite things that I made in the previous year. For the last 2 years, I've also made Vlogmas videos. So from the 1st of December up until the 25th of December, I've been putting out regular videos about things that I've been getting up to, more of like a day in the life kind of vlog. And those have been really fun to do. I feel like this is probably the best opportunity for me to say that I am planning to take a break from Vlogmas this December. Everybody who watches my Vlogmas videos, who has commented and said how much they love them, I really, really appreciate getting that feedback, because as you can imagine, it is a hugely labor-intensive process. I really enjoy making the videos and I get so much out of making the videos, but it is draining. It is full on. And I feel like I'm somebody who I want to continue to make the videos that are interesting me, exciting me. I don't want to be doing anything by default. That to me is like the killer of creativity. I want to do things because I've made a decision to do it, and I've enjoyed the last 2 years of Vlogmas, and I want to see what December is like to give myself a Vlogmas break. I think part of the thing too is, as you can imagine, if you are filming every day and you're trying to film so many of the activities that you're doing, it takes you out of it because you're having to get the camera, you're having to angle, you're looking at things through a lens. You're not in the moment as much. Now, I have tried in the time that I've been filming my Vlogmas to put the camera away for some of the time, but I feel like I will really enjoy the December period, the lead up to Christmas, which is one of my favorite times of year, without having that extra pressure on. And so I am really looking forward to a month of December where I have more time to watch Vlogmas videos. I don't have to do all the editing process every morning to put those videos out to you guys. I'm not saying I won't do Vlogmas again at some point, but I think it's going to be a nice month for me to just be a little bit more normal and really make the most of the Christmas season. And because my channel has been growing, but also I think because my Instagram following has been gradually increasing, I do get a lot more collaboration opportunities now than I did when I started my channel. And I will say I turned down the majority of collaboration opportunities. It's not that it's something that I don't want to do. I just think for me it needs to fit into what I feel like I'm naturally doing on my channel. So I'm not going to make a video that doesn't make sense to me or that I wouldn't want to make or see. Also, I just have to be able to fit it into my schedule. I've had a lot of people YouTubers who wanted to do collaborations with me, and my schedule was full. I just knew that I wasn't going to have the time or space to be able to do that collaboration with them, so I've had to say no. There are a lot of companies that wanted to do things like affiliate links with me or collaborations with me in some form, but I didn't actually feel that passionate about the product, about their sewing pattern. And I feel like I'm not going to come out here and tell you guys I like something if I don't. And I don't think it's that nice for a pattern company for me to come and just dump on them. So I am very much, if I'm thinking about an affiliation or I'm thinking about a collaboration, I'm going to make sure that I genuinely really love that company before I get involved. And so then I feel like it's less likely that I'm going to have a lot of negative stuff to say. But one way or another, like, you guys are going to get the truth. That is just the bottom line. And it's been fun to be able to do some of those collaborations. But I think the more important thing for me is just knowing that I'm still able to be open and honest. Whatever it is that I'm sharing with you guys, you're going to get the good and you're going to get the bad. And that is just how this channel goes. So the top things I think I would say if you are new to YouTube or if you are thinking of starting a YouTube channel, for one, just there is no harm in putting a camera up and filming. If it doesn't work out, you don't even have to put it up on YouTube, or you can choose not to put it out on YouTube. There are videos that I've made that I've had to just completely scrap and start over again. Know that, like any creative thing, that is part of the process. You're going to have fails, you're going to have times when things just don't work out. So please just have a go. Like, if you're thinking about it, you want to do it, right? Like, it's on your mind. So just definitely, I say, go for it. Also, I think watching lots of YouTube, particularly sewing YouTube, if you're thinking of starting a sewing channel, it is really helpful, and you will start to watch things a bit differently once you've actually started making videos, and it will then help to influence you as far as, okay, well, I like the way they do this, I don't like the way they do that, or so-and-so's videos seem a lot more slick, and how can I do that with my own videos as well? It's one of those things where the more you do it, the more you can learn. I do really encourage you to watch your own videos back. And I'm not just talking about editing. Yes, you need to be watching yourself when you're editing. But if you're watching some other YouTube videos, watch one of your own again, like one, that you made 3 weeks ago with a little bit of distance, or a couple of months ago with a little bit of distance. And imagine that you were watching that as the viewer, and do you like the video? If you don't like the video, what can you do to improve it? You might be able to spot some things that can help to just make your channel better. I don't think anyone should ever be just happy with leveling out where they are. I feel like all of us in our lives, and probably every aspect of our life, can be improving and should be striving to improve where we can. Yes, we can have periods where we're just kind of coasting, and that is totally cool and really nice as well. But I know for myself, I would love to find new ways to improve my channel. Even if I'm happy with what I've done before, I do think there's always somewhere forward that I can move to. So always have the idea in your mind, watching back your old videos and watching other people's channels. Things like volume, you know, are you quieter than the other videos? Are you quieter than the ads? Boost your volume up. Is your sound crackling because maybe you've boosted that volume up too much? Sometimes YouTube actually boosts up low volume videos and then the audio comes through a little bit crackly. So watching your videos back on YouTube specifically, you can actually learn quite a lot as well. And like I said before, there is no fast forwarding to getting experience. The only way you're going to get there is with time and with keeping at it. Remember to not compare your beginning to somebody else's middle. I really do love that expression. I think it is so valuable, especially when you're starting out with something. You will find your niche, you will find your voice, but only if you're also looking for it. So try to think as the process goes, what are you enjoying? What are people responding to? And for me, if your heart is not in it, it's just going to come across and it's not going to work. So you really need to be passionate about what you're talking about. You need to be passionate about the kind of videos that you want to make, and that will come across to the people who are watching. I hope it was fun to look back a little bit on how I have progressed along the last 3 years. If you do also have a YouTube channel, I would love to hear how you feel you have changed since you started that channel, how your process has changed as well. Please, if you've been watching me for a good while, let me know as well what you've noticed with myself over the last few years of making these videos. I have loved being here for the last 3 years. I am planning to be here for many more. If you are not already subscribed to my channel, it's a bit of a quirky one to start with, but definitely follow me on my journey. Subscribe down below. Make sure you do give me a like as well if you did enjoy the video so that other people might find it as well. And if you are on YouTube and I'm not already chatting with you in your comments, if I don't already know about your channel, let me know in the comments down below. Everyone, please do have a look down there if you want to find some new channels as well. Not every channel that you're going to love is already going to be a big popular one, and I am always looking for new channels to follow. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you all very soon. Bye!